Welcome aboard, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your friendly neighborhood naturopath. Thanks so much for logging in. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for checking us out, however it is that you are doing it. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. I could not make this stuff up if I wanted to. Conventional, modern, Machiavellian, MD-directed, mediocre medical is the gift that keeps on giving. I'm just going to read you this straight off the AP wire, the Associated Press wire. Are you ready? Are you sitting down? Again, if you're driving, pull over to the side of the road. If you're listening to this from your laptop, sit down. Make sure you're not on a stool because you're about to fall over. From the Associated Press in Washington, I quote, hospitals within the same city sometimes charge tens of thousands of dollars more for the same treatments, according to figures the government released publicly for the first time Wednesday. The federal list sheds new light on the mystery of just how high a hospital bill might go and whether it's cheaper for uninsured patients to get the same care somewhere else. But it does not answer the big question. Why do some hospitals charge 20 or even 40 times more than others? It doesn't make sense, said Jonathan Blum, director of the Government Center for Medicare. The higher costs don't reflect better care, he said, and can't be explained by regional economic differences alone. Blum said he hopes making the information available without charge to the public, oh, thank you so very much, my governmental overlord, will help generate answers to the riddles of hospital pricing. What riddle? Unquote. What riddle? They're gaming the system. And we're going back. I quote, and put pressure on the most expensive hospitals. The fees that Medicare pays hospitals aren't based on their charges, Blum said, but patients who are without government or private medical coverage are subject to them. The new information could help those patients decide where to get care. There are vast disparities nationally. The average charges for joint replacement range from $5,300 at an Oklahoma hospital, $5,300 in Oklahoma, to $223,000 in Monterey Park, California. From $5,300 to $223,000 for exactly the same treatment. It's not just national or even regional geography. Hospitals within the same city also vary wildly. In Jackson, Mississippi, average inpatient charges for services that may be provided to treat heart failure range from $9,000 to $51,000. From $9,000 to $51,000. That's for the same treatment at different hospitals. Hospitals usually receive less money than they charge, however. Their charges are akin to a car dealership's price, yada, 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 end quote. Now, you've got to be kidding me. Hospitals are gaming the system. And who's going to go to jail? Nobody. The banksters game the system. And who goes to jail? Nobody, because they're too big to fail. HSBC is convicted in federal court of laundering money from the Mexican drug cartels for 20 years. They're caught red-handed. Nobody goes to jail, no charges pressed, nothing happens whatsoever. Hospitals game the system. One hospital charges $5,300 for a joint replacement. Another hospital charges $223,000 for exactly the same treatment, and nobody goes to jail. There's no public outrage. There's no furor. Why? Because we all have Stockholm Syndrome. We have developed feelings of affection for our oppressors. It's the only logical solution. It is the only logical answer. We've developed feelings of affection for the people that are screwing us up the you-know-what. You got to be kidding me. And, thank God you're not Chris Christie, the governor of New Jersey. Chris Christie today, just comes out a couple days ago that he had gastric bypass surgery to help with his weight loss condition. With his weight condition. Well, I guess Chris Christie didn't attend my gastric bypass webinar. I guess nobody in Chris Christie's community was a longevity member. I guess nobody talked to Chris Christie about the unbelievably old-fashioned, dangerous, Machiavellian, mediocre medical treatments delivered by MDs, the king of which, or maybe not the king, maybe the prince of which, is gastric bypass surgery. You've got to be kidding me. If you're a longevity member, if you're a subscription holder to my online health recovery service, check out the webinar that I did a couple months ago on gastric bypass. It's right there in the archives. If you're brand new to this radio show, sign up for my online health recovery program. It's $17 a month. Cancel at any time. $17 a month. Cancel at any time. I've got 20 or 30 archived webinars about various health topics. We do 4 live health recovery webinars. They're live a week. Next live webinar tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central Time. It's a live chat with me for $17. That beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. Check out the gastric bypass webinar. You will be horrified at what gastric bypass is, what it does, and the philosophy of medicine that informs it. If you are not horrified by gastric bypass surgery, you are simply not paying attention. If a medical doctor recommended to patients that in order to treat depression, what they needed to do was cut out a piece of their brain or send electricity at 1,000,000 trillion volts coursing through the brain for electroshock therapy to fry the brain circuits out, you wouldn't do it. Oh, no, what? Maybe you would, because they still recommend those treatments. They still recommend those treatments as par for the course. This is the best that modern American medicine has to offer. That's what Dr. Huffenpuff says. I really don't know why people put up with this. Now, if you think that the governor, can you imagine the power and the connections that a governor of a state has? I mean, just put yourself into that position. Can you imagine? And it's New Jersey. This isn't, Rhode Island. This is New Jersey. It's a big state, pretty powerful state, got a big voting bloc. The governor of New Jersey gets hoodwinked by the medical profession. You think you stand any better chances? You do? Well, you may, now that you have aligned yourself with me. But what about the members of your community? What about the members of your church? What about the members of your family? Do you think they stand a chance? Chris Christie got hoodwinked by the MDs into thinking that they needed to do this barbaric treatment and it was his only option. If he got hoodwinked by him, what about everybody that's near and dear to you? It's only a matter of time, ladies and gentlemen, until someone close to you becomes hoodwinked by conventional American medicine. And I honestly don't know why people believe everything that their doctors tell them without question. If I found a genie in a bottle on a beach and I had one wish, only one wish, that would be my wish. To all of a sudden have everybody in the world question everything that the MDs do. Question them. Nicely, politely, scientifically, commonsensically question the MDs. Every single solitary time they break out their prescription pad. Well, doc, what's this drug going to do, and why are you prescribing it to me, and is it going to cure my disease? Well, if it's not going to cure my disease, what's it going to do, and how is it going to work, and who makes it, and what's the profit motive? What are the side effects? What can I expect it to do to the quality of my life moving forward? And for goodness sake, why don't you know how to cure this disease? You're the doctor. You telling me you don't know how to cure heartburn? You got to be kidding me. You suck at what you do. You're the doctor. You're telling me I have to cut my stomach out and that's going to be the cure for obesity? What? What? You're the doctor. You're telling me that the cure for breast cancer is to hack my breasts off? What? You're the doctor. You're telling me that the cure for my arthritis is to hack the knee out? Oh, and before that, you're going to give me oxycodone, which I'm going to get addicted to, and then I'm going to have to go to a rehab clinic after the surgery's done so I can withdraw safely from the medication that you've given me? What? And I'm paying you every month out of my hard-earned money. If I'm in Canada, they take it out of my paycheck against my will. They just automatically remove it. In the United States, at least you have a choice. Well, not for one more year. Once Obamacare kicks in, no more choice. You either buy medical insurance or you get penalized. Quite frankly, get penalized. That's my advice. Get penalized. You'll save money. Take the penalty and buy longevity supplements instead. Buy a subscription to my online health recovery program instead. Buy a couple of Dr. Wallach's books instead. Buy my book instead. Buy a couple of CDs instead. By the way, there's an awesome CD. Brand new. Check it out at youngevity.ca. Check it out at youngevity.ca. Just go to the store. The name of the CD, I believe, is MD Failures. MD Failures. It's got a picture of a syringe with it going right through the heart of a little papier-mâché person. Brand new CD, $5. Check it out. Information on that CD will save a life. Buy 100 of those CDs and disseminate them to everybody that's important to you in your life, and then recover the CDs. And if people listen to that stuff and they want to know more, then you invite them to a webinar. You invite them to a live longevity event. You send them a clip to an introduction to longevity webinar. You send them a pre-recorded video that the longevity company has produced. Why? Because we are spreading knowledge. We're not selling a damn thing. We're showing people what we're up to and seeing if they would like to give it a try too. But showing is the operative word here. Stand out on a limb. You know, take a chance. Stand up for your community. Somebody should have talked to Chris Christie a year ago. He would have been in our pocket. He would have lost 100 pounds. He'd still have his stomach. He'd still be healthy. And you mark my words, when they do a gastric bypass, they eliminate one of the dominoes in the digestive cascade, which means everything from his stomach to the South Pole in his body from now on is going to be messed up. And since all chronic disease is caused by nutrient deficiencies, it is now only a matter of time until Chris Christie's health fails massively, and then the MDs won't take responsibility for it. They'll blame it on his genetics. When will the madness end? Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. I'm taking your calls when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden, your friendly neighborhood naturopath. 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. That's the number to call to speak with me live. Number to call to speak with me live, just like Arlen in Indiana did. Hey, Arlen, thanks for the call. You are live.
Yes, how are you today?
Good, thanks. What's going on?
I got a lady that's got rheumatoid arthritis, and she's been taking the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack for 2 weeks, and her heart started acting up, racing out of control, so she quit it. She just wondered if any of that, I don't think it would cause it, but I just know what your thought on that was.
Well, you want to make sure that she's, number one, eliminated the 10 bad foods, okay? Make sure she's eliminated the 10 bad foods. Number two, the rheumatoid arthritis protocol to support and promote the structure and function of bones and joints in the face of a diagnosis of RA is one healthy bone and joint pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month, one selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, and enough glucogel to bring the total daily glucogel program to one capsule per 10 pounds of body weight per day. So if she's 150 pounds, she needs 15 glucogel a day. That's 450 glucogel capsules a month, okay? Now, the last thing is the Killer Biotic, and the recommendation is one bottle of Killer Biotic per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Now, if she's doing all of that and has eliminated the 10 bad foods, and she didn't do anything different, she didn't exercise, she didn't start drinking coffee, she didn't switch from tea to coffee, she made no other changes in her life, and she gets fast heartbeat, then it's entirely possible that she is allergic to one of the 115 fruits and vegetables that's in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Because one of the symptoms of a food allergy is an accelerated heartbeat. And, a lot of people won't feel that you know, because the pulse accelerates maybe 10 beats a minute after you eat something that you're allergic to. But in people that are petite, people that have a small frame, you know, tiny bodies, or, you know, I'm going to make up numbers here. I'm going to say maybe 30-40% of females generally, because women tend to be more sensitive with their bodies than men do, will feel the accelerated pulse post-consumption of something that they're allergic to. So she wants to look to see when the rapid heartbeat happens. And if the rapid heartbeat happens within an hour of swallowing the Beyond Tangy Tangerine or the OsteoFX Plus, then 5 will get you 10. She's allergic to something that's in either of those products, then she would need to switch it out. Now, if she switches from the OsteoFX Plus, the next best analog is the Cal-Toddy. The Cal-Toddy, and the dosage is the same. And if she needs to switch out from the Beyond Tangy Tangerine to something else, the next best thing would be the Ultra Body Toddy with Cell Shield or the Tropical Plus. The Ultra Body Toddy with Cell Shield or the Tropical Plus. Also, have her look to see, just generally speaking, when the heart rate accelerates. And most of the time with people like this, it's after they eat. And if it's after they eat and the pulse accelerates, I don't care if it was a Tic Tac or a piece of juicy fruit gum. I don't care. If the heart rate accelerates after you eat or drink something within 60 minutes and you're allergic to what you just ate or drank. So that would be the other thing to kind of Sherlock Holmes into the equation here. You know, you want to have her look to see when the acceleration happens and if it's related to either the Beyond Tangy Tangerine consumption, the OsteoFX Plus consumption, or whether it happens after breakfast or after lunch or whatever. And if it does happen after food, not after the supplements, then she's allergic to something that she eats. And if she takes the supplements with food, well, you're going to have to do a little slash and burn here in order to figure it out. So, you know, just have her do the Beyond Tangy Tangerine all by itself without any food. Wait 60 minutes, see if the heart rate accelerates. If it doesn't, have her do the OsteoFX Plus all by itself without any food. Wait for an hour, see if the heart rate accelerates, and then you'll know. So you got to knock it down like this. Now, if I'm correct, and this is, in fact, related to a food allergy, either of something that she's eating or drinking or one of the supplements, then that means, by definition, she has an intolerance to gluten. Because it's an intolerance to gluten that makes the food allergy happen in the first place. So if I'm correct, and it's the food or the supplements aggravating the heart rate, she needs to be 195% gluten-free. I mean, she's got to be the poster child for gluten-free living. Thanks for the call. Give that a try. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden. I have seen the future. And you know where the future lies? Oh, Canada. You want me to prove it? I'm going to prove it right now. Direct from Alberta, Canada, in the house, Evelyn. Evelyn, thanks for calling back. What's going on, girl? How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing fine, thank you. I have a question about my grandma. She's ready to start the longevity products, but she's on blood thinners, and I just wanted to make sure we do this right for her. So, and I wanted to ask about that, what we need to consider getting.
Yeah, that's easy, Evelyn. That's all easy, squeezy, lemon squeezy. But before we get there, girl, I want you to share with the listeners a little bit of your experience of your life post-longevity.
Okay. Well, we began to take the Beyond Tangy Tangerine January 1st. And as a family, we eliminated gluten. And we shared this canister between 2 adults and 5 kids. And I immediately had excellent results. I had been depressed since I was 14, and I haven't been depressed since I started that first canister, I swear.
Hold on. How old are you, Evelyn?
I'm 42 years old. Actually, today is my birthday.
Today is your birthday?
Yeah.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Evelyn. Happy birthday to you. Ladies and gentlemen, sign me up. Dr. Glidden, what did you do with the money? What money? The money for singing lessons. I know, Evelyn. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Now, if I can do math, 42 minus 14, let me see, what does that come out to? 28 years of depression gone in less than a week of Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Is that what you're telling me?
Actually, I'm saying the moment that the next day when I woke up after I started it, the very next day, I woke up and I was good, and I've been good since. I haven't been depressed since.
24 hours. All right, folks, which is better, 28 years of depression or 24 hours of Beyond Tangy Tangerine? I'm going to wait a minute while you do the math. 28 years of depression or 24 hours of Beyond Tangy Tangerine. The results are in. Evelyn, that is unbelievable. I think there's a little bit more to the story, though, isn't there?
Yes, actually there is. What happened was I started searching for longevity so I could get my daughter on it. The doctors had said she needed to be on medication for the rest of her life, and this was serious, and I wanted her off. So I found longevity, got her started, and now, thank God, she is completely off her medication, and she's doing fine.
What was her diagnosis and what was the medication?
Well, she had been diagnosed as bipolar and schizophrenic.
Bipolar and schizophrenic. That's some pretty big bad voodoo daddy stuff. Now, how long has she been taking the medical nutrition as delivered by Longevity?
Since January 1st. When I started, she started.
And how many psychotic episodes has she had since January 1st?
Not one.
And how many would you normally expect her to have had in a 5-month period?
Well, she was daily having something happen.
Daily. Ladies and gentlemen, and how much did we charge you for a consultation fee, by the way?
Nothing.
Nothing. And the lecture that you went to, that you found out about all of this stuff, how much did that cost?
Well, I searched you guys out online, so that's how I found it on YouTube. So.
God, you got to love it. And this is why we do what we do, ladies and gentlemen. This is how we're going to change the world. Evelyn and her family are, they are the picture perfect examples of the power of the network and the power of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. And this is why we bang the drum for network marketing. This is why Dr. Wallach set this up as a networked business. Because there's only a handful of us in the know here. There's 2 doctors in this whole flippin' company that have a clue about what's going on here, and there are hundreds of millions of sick and suffering people underneath the jack-booted heel of the pharmaceutical industry. How are we going to roll those people into the wonderful world of health? Through spreading the word to whomever is going to listen, however they're going to listen, whether it's at a lecture, with a CD, face-to-face, a Google search, a YouTube search, whatever. We're taking it to the next level, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear the wave? Can you hear the wave that's building in the middle of the night? You wake up, you listen closely, you will hear the longevity wave. It is building. Join Longevity now. Get out in front of the wave. Bring your community members back into the land of health, just like Evelyn did. Now I'm going to shut up, Evelyn, and I'll let you finish your story.
Yeah, because there's 2 more parts. So since I started in January, actually I just weighed myself last week. I have lost 100 pounds since I started.
That's 20 pounds a month. How do you feel? You go, girl. I mean, that's remarkable, isn't that? I mean, this is the gift that keeps on giving, for goodness sake. I mean, how good is this, Evelyn? How good is this?
Well, I think it's even better because I had 2 huge lumps in my armpits, and they're completely gone. 2
big lumps, and I bet the MDs wanted to slash and burn that stuff, didn't they?
Well, I just knew better not to go to them.
Yeah, well, if you go to any medical doctor's office in the world with big lumps under your armpits, I mean, that's like that's one of the main clinical signs of breast cancer, right? And so they would have sliced and diced, they would have biopsied, they would have jacked up your medical bill. You might have gotten a secondary infection. I was talking about that with Doug Winfrey on Dr. Wallach's show today. I guest hosted for Dr. Wallach. They're finding that people who are on antidepressants have a much greater incidence of developing infections when they go to hospitals, right? So, I mean, you've dodged a number of bullets here, Evelyn. I mean, I'm almost in tears here listening to your story and that of your family. And for goodness sake, it's your birthday. I mean, how great is this? I mean, how great is this? 100 pounds in 5 months. How great is this? No more depression. 24 years of depression gone in one day. We're not making this stuff up, folks. I didn't coach Evelyn. I got a text earlier that she was going to be calling in, and I know a little bit about her history, but I didn't coach her about what to say on the telephone. We don't do that. It's all cold calls here. We have no screeners. Evelyn, your story is inspirational. Thank you for everything that you do. Now, how can I help you a little bit more?
Well, like I said, I wanted to make sure that I'm able to help my grandma with her blood thinners. This is a concern for her because we want to make sure she's okay. So
all right,
that's the main question.
All right, good. So thank God for Dr. Wallach, because one of Dr. Wallach's lawsuits against the Food and Drug Administration allows us to legally say, because we have mountains, literally, well, not literally mountains, but we've got piles and piles and piles and piles of research, published research, that supports the fact that the supplementation with omega-3 and omega-6 essential fatty acids, omega-3 and omega-6 essential fatty acids, eliminates the risk of stroke. And how does it eliminate the risk of stroke? Because in order for your blood to be healthy and to not clot inappropriately, because it's blood clots that cause stroke, in order for your blood not to clot when it doesn't need to clot, you need essential fatty acids. And so what we do is simple here. Now, you know, and it's a crime, quite frankly, that your grandmother's medical doctor doesn't know this, because there have been literally thousands of published journal articles that reference this. Thousands. I guess your medical doctor's too busy to pick up a medical journal, or if he does, he doesn't read the little tiny article on medical nutrition, because he doesn't give a crap about medical nutrition, and that should make you very, very scared, listening audience. Very, very, very scared. So, most MDs, when they have somebody who they think is going to have a problem with their blood clotting, they give them rat poison. That's right, you heard it here first. Warfarin or Coumadin, it's rat poison, and I'm the quack. The MDs are giving rat poison. I'm giving essential nutrients. Who's the quack? The guy giving the rat poison, of course, but because everybody in the world gives rat poison and because it's standard of care, that's just the way that it goes. It's no different than when they did bloodletting. That was the medical treatment of choice in the 18th century, bloodletting. That's how George Washington died, the father of the United States. They bled him to death with a lancet because that was the standard medical treatment of choice. We look back on those days now and we're horrified. Oh, how could those medical doctors possibly do that? Well, guess what? They're still doing nonsense today with gastric bypass and rat poison to thin your blood. When will the insanity stop? Now, one of the things that we like to do here is back everything up with measurement when we can. So if your grandmother is having a problem with the thickness or the thinness of her blood, then every 2-3 weeks she's going to go back to the MD and they're going to do a blood test called a prothrombin time, a PT time, like Peter Thomas, PT time, or INR, Indigo Nancy Rudolph, INR. It's the same blood test, two different names. That blood test tells you whether your blood is too thick or too thin. And when they have someone on Coumadin or rat poison, they do the INR test every 3-4 weeks just to make sure they're not overdosing or underdosing. So the recommendation for your grandmother is simple and easy. It's one Healthy Start pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month, one bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, and one extra bottle of EFA Plus per month. Have her do that, plus eliminate the 10 bad foods. And after she's done that program for about 3 weeks, I want her to go back and have the INR test done again. it will undisputedly show that her blood is getting too thin now, and the MDs will reduce the Coumadin, and then she goes back a couple of weeks later, and they'll reduce the Coumadin, and then she go back a couple of weeks later, and they stop the Coumadin, and then she tells the doctors, hey, you know what? I've developed an eye problem. Oh, what's the matter, grandmother of Evelyn? I can't see you anymore, you knucklehead, because you almost killed me with your rat poison, and I fixed it with omega-3 and omega-6 essential fatty acids. You are fired. It's that simple, Evelyn. It's the Healthy Start Pack, the selenium, 1 extra bottle of essential fatty acids, plus the diet. And just make sure she goes back and have the test performed every 3 weeks until her blood is completely normal without the drugs. And that is how we roll. Thanks so much for the call, Evelyn. We're up against a hard break. You continue to be an inspiration to me and to everybody in the Longevity family. Keep up the good work, girl, because as it turns out, you are the last best hope your friends, family, church members, and community members have to live a long, healthy, and, yes, I'm saying it out loud, wealthy life. Now go get them, girl. You are the best. And by the way, happy, happy, happy birthday. This is the beginning. Really, I mean, no kidding. This is the first day of the rest of your life. Thanks to everybody up in Canada who is a member of Team Glidden. My Canadian longevity group is growing like a weed in Canada, and it is going to overtake the entire province of Alberta. It's going to overtake it, then we're going to spread. We're going to go east and we're going to go west, and within a year, everybody in Canada is going to know what longevity is, and they're going to have a choice. Longevity or death. I think they're going to choose longevity. I've seen the future, and it lies in Canada, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Stick around. Oye, como va? 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. That's the number to call right now to talk with me live, just like Linda from Arizona did. Hey, Linda, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. I'm so thankful for you and Dr. Wallach and all the things you do to help people.
Well, hey, you know, what goes around comes around, because we're just the conductors of the ship. You know, you're keeping the ship in ship shape, and without you, I'd just be a lonely person on a mountaintop waving a flag. So what goes around comes around, girl. We're all in this together. How can I help?
Well, I'm out here trying to do my part, and I talked to a woman a couple days ago. I sat down with her to make a list of things that she is suffering from. And she came up with like 22 things that I got marked off the first several.
Yeah, it's remarkable, isn't it? So I'll get to the concerns here, but I just want you to think about what you just said.
What?
Right? She's got 22 things wrong with her.
Yeah.
Which means that her medical doctor doesn't just suck, they really, really, really suck. I mean, if you bought a brand new house, if you moved into a subdivision, you bought a brand new house and it was made by this one construction company, and the week after you moved into it, there were 22 things wrong with it. And then you went to your neighbor's house, and there were 22 things wrong with the neighbor's house. And you went to the next door neighbor's house, and there were 18 things wrong with that house. You would take the general contractor to court because you wouldn't put up with that. But with our bodies, we give the MDs a pass, so it can't be their fault. Well, yes, it is. They're the people that are in charge of our health. It's their care that we're under. It's their stewardship that we're under. They're in charge of our health care. And for goodness sake, 22 things. It's a miserable, abject failure. And yet, we give them a pass, and I'm going to bet you, I'll bet you $1 million that this woman, even after 22 failures by the MDs, is still paying medical insurance premiums every month. Where will the insanity end? But I digress. So go on. Now, tell me what else is going on with her.
Well, her top three are panic attacks, anxiety, and depression, but she's got several more if you have...
Well, all right, yeah. So this is an interesting thing to talk about, right? So remember, this is holistic medicine, and we're not treating conditions. We're supporting and promoting the general function of the human being because everything's connected. So with those three things, anxiety, panic attacks, and depression, the first place to go is the Healthy Blood Sugar Pack appropriate for body weight and 1 extra bottle of calcium a month. The Healthy Blood Sugar Pack appropriate for body weight, and 1 extra liquid calcium a month, plus, of course, the selenium appropriate for body weight.
Right.
So, all right. So the healthy blood sugar pack appropriate for body weight, the selenium appropriate for body weight, and 1 extra bottle of liquid calcium a month, plus the diet, is a very, very good place to start, because the root cause of anxiety and panic attacks. Now, there can be a number of things that contribute to this. But the main things that contribute to this are not enough calcium. It's a simple calcium and magnesium deficiency, which is quite remarkable when you think about it. And, of course, blood sugar issues, that's a facultative breakdown in the body's ability to metabolize sugar, not because you have the type 2 diabetes gene like the MDs want you to think, but because you've run out of about 17 to 22 minerals, chromium and vanadium being the 2 major players that the human body needs in order to metabolize blood sugar appropriately. And also, in the domain of blood sugar, lest we not forget food that's high in sugar, like Ensure, right? We had a client the other day, they have type 2 diabetes, taken the stuff, the blood sugar numbers weren't working, but she's pounding down a couple of glasses of Ensure every day, and there's 50 grams of carbohydrates in 1 serving of Ensure. So as we're trying to get on the other side of a blood sugar issue, for the first couple of months, it's always a prudent idea to, in addition to eliminating the 10 bad foods, to eliminate foods that have high sugar content, like fruit and fruit juice and, wine and alcohol, honey, molasses, agave, etc., etc. So that's where I would start her with, Linda. That's where I would start her with the Healthy Start Pack and selenium, healthy blood sugar pack and selenium appropriate for body weight, 1 extra bottle of OsteoFX Plus. Eliminate the 10 bad foods for life, and for 90 days, eliminate any food that has extracurricular sugar in it. Do that for 4 weeks, and then call me back with a progress report, and whatever's left will have a much better chance at knocking down into the dirt. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're frustrated with 22 health conditions, guess what? You've got the wrong doctor. I'm the right doctor, Dr. Peter Glidden, taking your calls at the top of the second hour.